Hello everyone, welcome to Semi Homesteading with Abby. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's video. Today we are doing something that has been on my list to check off for a while, and that is making my own candles. So I follow these accounts on Instagram that are like into non-toxic living, and they always talk about how bad candles are, like how bad the fumes and there's a bunch of chemicals in them that are just really not good for you. For example, I have this candle that's like cinnamon spice flavored and it smells really good, but I know I'm not probably breathing in the best stuff. So I've wanted to, for a while now, make my own candles with some essential oils. Now I didn't have many candle vessels, but then I went to Goodwill. So this one is just a regular like heart-shaped candle. Same with this one, but it's a little fancier on the edges. I don't know if you can see that well. Yeah, so it's like this kind of crystal-y heart, which I thought was kind of cute. And then this one is my favorite for sure. Okay, so it's like an old candy dish, but I think I'm gonna put at least 2 or 3 wicks in here and try to fill this up with the wax. Now the other thing is, I looked up how to make candles and I needed something to melt the wax over. And by the way, I'm using beeswax, so let me show you that. So the first thing I need to unwrap is this little pot that you put over another pot. I have boiling water going back here, and then you put the wax in here and melt it. Then I have the wicks and the little stickers to stick the wicks to the bottom of the candle. And then this is 10 pounds of beeswax. So they're like little pellets. Let me show you more up close. This is what the beeswax looks like. Just these little itty bitty pellets. So they should melt pretty quickly. Then I'm gonna start melting a lot of this for these candles. Oh, the other thing is that I'm adding essential oils. So we just got some essential oils. One of them's a lavender scent, one of them is a eucalyptus scent. They're both good. You know, obviously lavender is good for like relaxation. Eucalyptus, it might be like stress relief or something. I'll have to look up what eucalyptus is good for. I'm not sure if that's normal to have like a eucalyptus candle, but I might try it. And then we also have some gardenia and like tuberose essential oils, some fir and pine. We have this diffuser back there, so we have some just for that. So we'll see how much of that I use, but I'm definitely gonna probably do a eucalyptus one and a lavender one. Okay, this is interesting because I thought that this whole thing I would melt the wax in and these were connected, but when I opened up the thing, this is separate from this. So, and this is very small, like it will not just rest over my pot. So I guess I could just hold it over, that might work, but I don't know, it seems like too small. I wonder if I can move the boiling water though into a smaller pot, and that might work. Okay, I think we're in luck. I put it in the smaller pot, it is still very hot, and this will fit over the top, so I can just pour the beeswax in. It also gave me these other tools that I'm trying to figure out what they're for. I think we threw away the like instructions too early. So I may have to Google what these actually do. They package them very intensely. Okay, so here's this tool. I'm assuming that has something to do with the wick maybe. And this is like maybe a wick holder. I'm not exactly sure. And then let's open this bag up, see what goodies we have in here, because I thought the wick holder was in here. So let's look. Oh, well good, we have a candle making guide right in here. We have the little stickers to put your wicks on. We have a bunch of different size wicks. Okay, so here's the candle making guide. It says step 1, place the wick, sticker on the bottom, secure the wick, melt the wax. It just says melt the wax, add your fragrance, and then you just let it cool. So yeah, I think these are wick holders. Oh gosh, I don't really know what this all is. Oh yeah, I think you can like lay this across or something and clip the wicks, and this is like one of these and one of these. Oh, okay, this is for laying across like the vessel, although that may not work. I don't think that's gonna work for us because first of all, like all of mine are weird shapes and they don't really just like rest there. Plus they're pretty large, so we're just gonna have to improvise on that step. But I think it'll be fine. You can just adjust the wick after, to my understanding. So, okay, let's add the wax to the little double boiler I have set up so we can get started. All right, time to finally melt the beeswax. I'm gonna use my handy dandy ladle. Just ladle some out here. Right in there. The more that I think about it, I think that that like 3-pronged thing is just for stirring the melting beeswax, because I just used a spoon to scrape off the bottom of my candle and now it's covered in beeswax and I'm probably gonna have to boil it to get it off. So that 3-pronged thing might work a lot better. Okay, we're gonna let this melt and stir it occasionally and I'll keep you posted. So that double boiler is extremely small, so I think I'm probably just gonna have to do rounds of like melting and stuff for each candle. So I'm gonna start with this one because it is my favorite candle. So I need to add the wicks. Now, the problem is I don't really know the science behind how many wicks you have to put in per like area of the candle. I was gonna put 3 for this and just do one kind of slanted on this edge, one in the middle, and one kind of slanted on this edge, and then cut them all to an even length afterwards. I think that's gonna work because if I only put 2 in the middle, I think the edge part of the wax just won't burn and it'll burn unevenly. So I'm gonna go with 3, and then the next time I refill this, if it doesn't work, I'll move it down to 2. I love this kit because they have these like super long wicks, but also these little short ones. I thought I was gonna have to waste a ton of the wicks, or like the top of the wick length, but they customize the size. So this is perfect. So I think I'm gonna add, well, I know that I wanna add one in the middle. So that's gonna be the easy one. And let me peel that off. And I can add my wick right onto the sticker. Okay, that's good. Then the other 2 I think have to go a little bit slanted on the sides here, or else they're gonna be very, very close to the other wicks. So I'm gonna put one right about here. And then it's nice because this has a symmetrical pattern to it, so I can just make sure that I am putting it evenly on this other side. So they'll be like that. And then obviously the wick will just have to be at an angle to its base, which should not be a problem. So let me add this wick right here. And then this wick, I will add here. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think we're good with the spacing for these wicks. So I'm gonna stir the beeswax and then we'll start with this one first. Honestly, it is taking so long to heat up and melt the beeswax that I'm only making this candle. You know, 1 is enough. I don't need to make 4. I need to figure out a better way to melt the beeswax in like a double boiler that is probably a little bit quicker. But yeah, for right now, we are not going to fill up these. We're just gonna stick with this one and see how it goes. I'm changing strategies. I'm gonna put the beeswax in here and just put this directly on the pot. I didn't want to do that necessarily because beeswax is so hard to get off of surfaces, but this will just be my candle making container, so I don't have to worry about getting every single inch of beeswax off of it every time, because this double boiler thing is taking so long. Okay, I realized my camera was off, but I had it over like medium heat and I tried to put it in it and it kind of like didn't explode, but it was like smoking and stuff. So I need to do this very slowly. I moved it off of heat right now and I put it on low. Okay, now I'm gonna slowly increase the heat and start stirring it around. I read something that says beeswax bursts into flames at 400 degrees, so we don't want to get it to that point. But this is definitely better. It's definitely melting, so let me show you. Okay, so that looks 1,000 times better. So I'm just gonna keep stirring it until it's all melted. Then we'll pour it into our candle and then we'll add the essential oils. I'm gonna turn the heat down to low because it's already pretty hot and I don't want to get it too hot. I don't want it to burst into flames. So actually I am gonna make the other candles today now that I have this new melting method. I think we're gonna be fine. I may actually need to add more for this first initial candle. It's not that much wax actually. So I'm gonna add more beeswax. The other thing I was thinking is that I have extra mason jars. I made jam this morning and it only filled like a couple jars, but I had cleaned multiple. I have like 3 extra and I have to buy more anyway. So maybe I'll make some mason jar mini candles. Okay, while that finishes melting, I'm going to prep our essential oils. So I'm gonna use the lavender one first. I'm a sucker for lavender. Now, it's suggested, like I can always add if I want to, but it's suggested starting out with about 30 to 40 drops. I'm gonna start out with 30 maybe and just see. Actually, I'm gonna do 40. Okay, so those are in there now. Now when I pour the beeswax in, I can just make sure to mix it all around and make sure it's evenly spread. Okay, all the beeswax is melted. So here is the moment of truth. Okay, it's a good amount. Now, this, oh no. What happened? I can find my mixer. Well, let me just mix this first. And then maybe as it dries, I'll try to put these back in. I do not know what happened there. I think I accidentally started out with like the hardest candle to do, but I'm just gonna mix it around and I guess try to stick like the wicks in as they dry. I don't know how that happened. I feel like I did not pull them hard. Okay, so I have one. This is terrible. Well, here. Oh no. My gosh. Okay, this is way harder than I thought. Next time, like for this next round of beeswax, I'm just gonna do a mason jar one because I don't have to move around the wick barely at all. Okay, so the new batch of beeswax is melting now. I'm gonna put the wicks into these ones, but I cannot nudge this other candle or else the entire, like all the wicks will fall. So I have to be very delicate. Okay, I have the wicks in on the other 3 mason jar candles. This other one is starting to firm up. I'll show you. So definitely starting to look a little bit better. This beeswax is all completely melted, so we can do our mason jar candles. Okay, these are in. I spilled beeswax on the counter, so that's not ideal. But let's add the essential oils for these small ones. I'll maybe do like 15 drops. Hold this up, mix it. And now that this one is pretty firmed up, I'm gonna take these clips out and put that right there. Oh my gosh, this one ripped off too. What am I doing? I guess I have to be a little more delicate with it, but it's tough. And that one came off too. I do not know what's happening. Well, they might not be able to burn the end of the candles, but at least they're straight and like touching the bottom, so I think we're gonna be fine. Okay, this one has set now. It's still a little hot, but it's solid. I'll trim the wicks and then let it set for a few days and then we can burn it. Okay, so I read up about why my candles did this, and basically it sounds like I had the wax really hot and then I put them, when I poured it, into cold mason jars and cold vessels in general. And so when that happens, the wax clings to the cold surface and to the wick. And so for my mason jar ones, that temperature difference was really, really drastic. And as the wax contracted, it created like a sinkhole. So they said the way to fix that, if that happens, is to just use, I got this butane torch from my brother's house, and you can just melt kind of around the edge until the sinkhole is filled in. So those ones are just gonna be a little bit shorter than the rest of them. And for next time, I will know not to heat the wax up as much and to also heat up the jars so that they all kind of cool together and that sinkhole does not happen. This one I am gonna just save and not make today probably. I wanna see how the amount of lavender that I put in actually burns and smells as it's burning. So I'm gonna wait to do this one until I've burned a couple of the other candles, and then I'll do a little round 2 of candle making with this other vessel. I'm very proud of the candles that I created. I really enjoy them. So this is a great new skill I learned. These are non-toxic, just essential oils. And so they should be much better for myself and my family to breathe in. And I realized I never gave an actual outro. So that is all for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next video.